in the 6 counties we know as the Diocese of Pittsburgh, the presence of priests has been constant since the 1700s. While the numbers were few at the start, priests have always cared for the spiritual well-being of the Catholics in Western Pennsylvania, sometimes covering large distances to do so. But what remains the same, no matter the era, is that a priest is ordained to serve, to announce the good news of God's kingdom to people, to administer the sacraments, especially to celebrate the Mass, and to be a sign of unity and reconciliation, pointing others to God's love and mercy. Meet the priests of Pittsburgh, a unique band of brothers who are often more alike than they might admit, yet each priest brings his own personality, gifts, and talents to his service of others as a shepherd. What is it that makes these men do what they do? What inspires them? What makes them want to give their lives to the mission of Jesus Christ? And what do they do for fun? What gives them life? What makes them smile?
I was back probably when I was about 12 years old, and it was in 6th grade. And very simply, we were headed off to junior high, and we had a pseudo-graduation in 6th grade, and we had to put down what we wanted to be when we grew up. And I couldn't remember what I wrote down, and the night of the banquet, they read off my name and what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I had written down I wanted to be a priest. And that first stuck in my head at the age of 12, and here I am today.
When I was a little boy, I was in probably the 3rd grade, and I went to Assumption School in Bellevue. And at that time, different missionary groups or different orders would come, and they'd show movies about seminary life and the life of a priesthood or the life of a missionary. And from a very young age, I knew I wanted to be a priest. To tell you the truth, I didn't think I was smart enough to be a priest, because when I was a boy, you had to have like all A's to go to some school like North Catholic or Bishop's Latin School and so on. So I just thought I had a lot of C's and a lot of B's and a few D's. So I thought, oh, well, I guess I'm just not supposed to be one. But then when I went in the Army right after high school, I went back to college because I did a lot of reading when I was in the service. And I fell in love with the world of academia. And I found out that I was a lot smarter than I thought I was, because when I was in college and seminary, I always had like a 3.8 average, or, always had good grades, and just because I loved it.
I had a desire in my heart. I remember I was 12 or 13 years old. Like I've told the story many times, my vocation certainly is from the Lord, but came through my family and my friends, and from the parish where I grew up. Because for us, growing up in the Sparacino household, this was the church, and we revolved around the church. Everything we did. I received First Holy Communion in 2nd grade from Father Wallace, and I've been on the altar since that fall in the third grade as a 3rd grader. So what is that, 9 years old, and I'm, for 40 years now I've been on the altar. So my call came from there.
I first thought of the priesthood when I was in 2nd grade. That's the earliest I recall, and the family speaks about in wanting to be an altar server. And I suppose the thing that struck me and in our family was if we only have one life to live, and that came to me very quickly. It was my grandfather died when I was in 3rd grade, and my grandparents just lived a few doors up from us, and he had been a coal miner and had heart and lung disease, but his death as a child reminded me and helped me to realize that death comes quickly and we just don't know how much time we have. And so it made me think, if there's only one shot at life, I want to do the most important thing I could possibly do.
So I make candles. Actually, it started as a child. My mother learned how to do it from craft magazines in the 70s, and so as kids we would pull out the hot plates and the newspaper and cover on the kitchen table, and we would make candles out of old recycled candles and new ones. And so I've kind of done some research and kind of taken it up to another level, being able to actually like know how wicks work and waxes and different kinds of waxes and stuff. So.
Do I have any special hobbies? Well, welcome to my kitchen. I have several hobbies I like to do. Right now I'm making dough, which is probably one of my favorite things to make. Because from dough you can make pizza. Pepperoni rolls is what I'm making today, and pizza frita, fried dough. I'm making a zucchini pizza today because I have some friends coming over. But my main thing is cooking and baking. I like to make dough, cookies. Little Sisters of the Poor had a great big celebration last year. And my family and I, we made all the cookies for the celebration. But yeah, my main thing is dough. I really like to make dough. Yeah.
Yes, fly fishing. I just love getting out here in the fresh air with a beautiful stream, and just to get in the water. I love the sound of the stream. I love the way that the sunlight plays on the stream, and being surrounded with all this wonderful vegetation.
Yes, I have many actually, but you know, one of the things that I grew up with was just loving the sport of shooting. And at the age of 12, I went to hunter's ed and just enjoyed hunting with my dad, and got into shotguns and rifles and handguns. And being out in the country now, many of my parishioners actually go hunting with them, and we actually go to the range many times. So it's a nice way to interact with the people I love.
Well, I would have to say the most surprising thing for me is there were many things I wanted to do before becoming a priest or in place of being a priest that I've been able to participate in as a priest. And that's been very surprising. I always wanted to fly, and I've been able to do that. I had an interest in the Game Commission, and I've been able to do that. And I've always had an interest in law enforcement and that type of work, and I've been able to be involved in that. So God has been amazing in my life, enriching me in so many ways.
Some of it was just kind of the difference between watching it and then living it out, and just seeing how, you know, some days can be calm and other days can be absolutely crazy, and also seeing the people's generosity, because, you know, people see you every day, and they're always so friendly. When I first came to Ambridge, I'd walk down the street and there would be this man that would always say, "Hi, Father," as they're walking down the street. And it's just wondering, it's like, wow, just a beautiful place and how friendly people were. So.
Well, I think one of the most surprising things for me has been, as Jesus says in the Gospels, they're like sheep without a shepherd. You know, I never really thought I'd be a leader, but I found out since I've been a priest, I have leadership skills. And people are always, you know, they always need help, they always need direction. And sometimes you'll go over to the church and maybe a Eucharistic minister won't show up or something, so I have to go out and find somebody. So you always have to be prepared, and you always have to realize that being a priest is being a shepherd, especially if you're a pastor of a parish like I am. And I really love being a leader to the flock.
The most surprising thing about being a priest is what I've learned once I got off the floor at the cathedral on my ordination day. June 6, 1998. I don't know, it must have been around 10:30, 10:45, I laid on the floor. The Litany of Saints played, and people were praying. And once I got off the floor and Bishop Worrell ordained me a priest, wow, I'm surprised at the things I didn't know. You know, I'm prepared in the seminary for a lot of things, but what surprised me is the grace that God has given me from that moment to do what he's called me to do. Because you know what, in the end, I'm a baker. You know, I like to bake. If I wasn't a priest, I was in occupational therapy, but I'd probably own a deli, you know, somewhere serving people. So I think the surprising thing is I'm actually doing it. And I don't know, ask my parishioners. Hopefully I'm doing a good job at it.
The life of a priest is always challenging. The priest must himself be converted to the gospel in order to announce that gospel to others. Having heard God's call, he must invite others to listen for God's voice in their own lives, lives that are often overscheduled and frantic. The priest, by his own witness, can allow people to see the presence of God in the midst of all the ups and downs of life.